Hey guys, I thought I would take this opportunity to talk to you about consignment while unpacking some orders, because I realised more often than not when we talk about our what sold items, you'll see a couple that I shout out to be a consignment piece alongside our regular sales. I'll go through essentially like what it is, what we do, how we organise it, how we keep track of everything, in case you might find this helpful. Also, please feel free to leave any comments or questions down below and I'll more than happily get back to you in terms of the world of consignment. So first up, like, what is consignment? Essentially, it's rather than us buying new stock, we have an agreement with a person or a couple of people or a family that we will sell their stock on their behalf and then split the profits after it's been sold. So that means the real benefit for us is we're not losing any money up front because we don't have to purchase the item, which then may or may not go on to sell. But also it just ensures that anything that we sort of can't sell, we can then readdress later in terms of giving it back to them, or however if they want us to throw it out or anything like that. The benefit as well, it means that we are able to essentially get our hands on better or more expensive stock that we might not necessarily either have the money or enough knowledge to be confident in just purchasing outright. So a really big example of that would be all of the art we've been doing. That is something Matt and I would never have dabbled in or looked at or even wanted to touch with a 10-foot pole, because we just don't know anything about art. But in saying that, we've sold hundreds of dollars worth of art in the last couple of months since we've been doing this consignment. So there's definitely money to be made there. It also helps us in the learning process. So if we see art out and about now when we go to garage sales or op shops or council cleanup, we actually can look at it with a bit more of a knowledgeable eye and assess whether or not we should be purchasing that piece for our own store. Now, the way that we find consignment is through multiple channels. So we have friends and family that we're doing it for who helped us out very early on, and were happy enough to give us some pieces, and then we agreed upon a split and we've been using that. Other ways is people reaching out, finding people in the wild, which our largest consignment so far has been an accidental find. We found them when we were out. They had listed some stuff up on Marketplace for free, and so they're just clearing out, a bit of an estate clearance, helping their mum move, and so I went to go check out some free stuff that I saw there that I thought was going to be beneficial for us to sell. Then chatting to them, and they were showing me some other cool pieces, and I was like, well, actually we offer consignment, so depending on what your items are, how much quantity wise in terms of storing, if it needs testing and cleaning and a lot more work put into it before it can be listed, we then negotiate the rate and then move forward with that. So honestly, bit of luck, which is all well and good, because if you don't promote it, then no one would know to find you. But at the same time, word of mouth really helps. So we're hoping to obviously get a lot more deals out of this now that we've been doing this for a while for this particular family, and they've been really happy with us. They've actually given us a whole lot more stuff to sell, which hopefully we'll be able to turn into a video for you guys to see, because this is a very massive collection of Wedgwood pieces. So we'll see how that goes. Again, our knowledge pool isn't massive on certain items, and I'm very open and transparent with them on that, and on items that I know will sell and items that I'm not as confident about. I'm very upfront, especially like, for example, with the art. I was like to them, I don't know a lot about art, and they're like, we're just happy for you to give it a try. And lo and behold, it's actually worked out pretty well for us. But in terms of the split, so what we generally offer, as I said, depending on various factors, is a range between, so either go 40-60, 50-50 or 60-40. So depending, as I said, on the amount of effort that is required to go into the items of the storage or listing, we then work out that split after fees and shipping. So I have a very lovely Excel that I've designed all these formulas for to essentially help keep track of all of this. It keeps track of the sale price. It'll automatically figure out eBay ad fees, any of the shipping we can manually type in, then it works out the split of money for each party based on the agreed upon amount. Then I've also got a section that keeps track of how frequently I'm paying them, how much I'm paying them, how much is currently outstanding, and all of that. If you're interested, I can definitely make a template for you guys to get in, have a look and play around with, but you guys could possibly use it for your future endeavors. But I think for us, consignment has played a massive role in what we do. Also, the other benefit for us is, like, yes, we get access to all this different stock and all of that, but we also obviously get the sales, the numbers, the positive feedback from when a buyer receives an item on eBay or Marketplace. So it then also benefits our store down in the future, additionally outside of obviously just a monetary standpoint. I think that all sort of makes sense. Pros and cons of doing consignment. Well, I mean, obviously, as I said, massive pro is you get access to a lot of stock without the risk of spending money on it. And that, especially if you're starting out, is big because you won't necessarily know what's worth what. You don't necessarily want to be spending hundreds of dollars on something that might not sell. So, massive pro. Con, as I will show you, it can take up a lot of space. And so if that stock isn't necessarily moving, and you guys would have heard me hop on in previous videos about me not liking records, that literally takes up about an entire shelf in our eBay room. And that can be a negative if we had a lot more stock around, and that would just be taking up valuable real estate for things that we would possibly know would sell for us. Thankfully, we're not at that point, we're not that big yet that we have such an influx of stock that I have to worry too much about space. With this new piece of consignment coming in though, I'm definitely going to have to look at possibly purchasing some more shelves, because the way that we've sort of got it laid out at the moment, and I've been doing some clearance and some stock take, but just realistically we don't have enough space to house all of the new inventory that's going to be coming in, and I'm really excited about it because it is really cool. So I'm really eager for this to do well, but it's also being realistic about how much time and effort this is all going to take, and also just storage space. If you physically can't house it, then that is also, I guess, just a consideration of working within your own means. Like, you don't want to have a hoarder's house where you've just got stacks and stacks of items that are just taking up too much time to research, list and everything else, or are taking up too much space that you can't just do your day-to-day functions. And I would say from experience, our golf buy is one of those ones that we hadn't thought about prior as to what we were going to do with all of our stock. So the spare room is a bit chaotic at the moment. There's a lot of golf clubs and golf bags everywhere, but we've definitely got a bit of a better system going now, so it's not as disastrous as it was originally when we came into the large amount of clubs that we purchased. Another pro to consignment is also just word of mouth and getting your business out there and having that like positivity spread from someone else that's not necessarily like an eBay purchaser. It's someone who you're dealing with and they can talk more directly to your actual like credibility and your character than necessarily what some of the reviews can on eBay and Marketplace. And also, sort of a two-prong from that, I'm so happy to know that we're actually helping people, because in this particular example, it is a bit more of a estate case, and they're just a two-time poor to deal with all of this. And the fact that we're able to come in, take things off their hands, every couple of weeks transfer them some money, it works out really well for them. It's just one less thing that they have to worry about. They don't have to figure out where they're going to put all this stuff. It just comes to us. And so knowing that we're actually able to help families who need that help, that's also a real nice positive in what we do. Do we reckon these will fit in here? They might. But I would also say consignment isn't necessarily for everyone. There is a lot of work involved. I think there's definitely more work than what I had originally thought, which I'm not mad about because it's my full-time job, so I have the capabilities to do it. But if you're doing this as a bit more of a hobby side hustle, consignment might not be for you. But as I have the time to be able to dedicate to all of this, it's actually a really good deal for us, and especially when we're having slower weeks in terms of like sourcing items, I can always rely on the consignment side of things to keep me busy. But I think one of the most important things to do when you get your consignment pieces in is 100% make sure you itemize every single piece, because and as I said with the Excel sheet that I have that everyone who we do consignment with has access to, it just keeps a real nice clear air of transparency. That you're not hiding anything from them, nothing like you're not trying to sneak away some of their items for your own profit. They can trust that everything you do is completely above board and honest, which then, as I said, leads to more consignment opportunities. I feel like I've definitely waffled a little in this video, and I think it's all sort of making sense as to what I'm saying, but please obviously, like, if you have questions or concerns, or even if you're possibly looking to get rid of some stuff and want to reach out about consignment opportunities with us, obviously pending your location, probably east coast of Australia is the max that we could do right now. Definitely feel free to reach out. We are more than happy to help with this sort of stuff where we can, or even just give advice if you need any advice or help on selling items or just what to do next because you're unsure. Like, please reach out. We're more than happy to help, more than happy to give insights. And like I said, if you are actually interested in my Excel, which I'm very proud of because it took a while, because it also feeds into our main Excel's running totals and that sort of stuff, so we can clearly see what our profits are from it all as well. If you're interested, let me know and I can do a bit more of a deep dive into that and what's involved with that, or setting up your own and helping you keep track of your inventory and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna go through and edit this video and be like, Kirsty, nothing you said made sense there. So, be fingers crossed it's not as much of a disaster as what I'm imagining it sounds like. But yeah, let me know. It's definitely an interesting world. Matt and I really like it just because of the opportunities and the benefits that it presents to us. It suits our lifestyle a lot more than having to go. Like, I mean, I still go outsourcing every weekend, but I mean, if you've watched some of our latest videos, it's been a bit slim pickings. Trying to find deals that are worth the profit margins that we're hoping to get. It's definitely harder. I know some people work to less profit margins, but for what we're looking to get at the moment, it just doesn't seem to be there. And like, obviously, if you can get more for your items, go for it. I'm not the kind of reseller to whinge about how, op shops are charging too much, or that item was way too expensive at a garage sale. Like, yes, I do find it funny, because when you look at realistic eBay comps, if it's not even selling for that on eBay, okay, then yeah, good luck to you to try and get that amount. But if that's what it's selling for and someone happens to stumble upon it, they want it, need it, and can just get it there and then, go for it. It just means that my job is a little bit harder, and that means consignment definitely helps a little bit more in that instance. But stay tuned for more videos. Obviously, I really appreciate it if you made it this far and enjoyed listening to me waffle on. Like, subscribe, please comment and say hi so I know who you guys are, and get excited for the Wedgwood video that's up and coming, because I am low-key scared but also very excited. See you on the next one.